Tom, I got no looks at Ohio State Rutgers.
Aren't you a lucky son of a gun?
Yeah. Wait, no, that was a CBS. Shock.
No. Look, hey, you throw me out there, and you can see all the Slack comments. You can see all the written production on CBSSports.com. I was just assigned to other games. All right, you know.
Chip was on Notre Dame, Clemson.
Yeah. I was assigned to other games, and Tom Fornelli had it on lock. So Tom, guide me. What in the world was that?
The final score was 35-16 Ohio State, but friends, that was a very misleading final score because Ohio State scored a couple touchdowns late to put this one away and make it look better than it was. The simple truth, like to boil this all down as basic as possible, is that Rutgers' defense is legitimately good, and Rutgers' defense did a very good job against Ohio State. The problem for Ohio State is that, and this has been a problem for them a lot this year, Rutgers' entire defensive philosophy is we are just going to keep two safeties back and force you to move down the field because this is the Big Ten. And we don't really face a lot of teams with quarterbacks and wide receivers who are just going to be able to exploit us kind of dropping back most of the time. Ohio State is supposed to be the team that does that. And they couldn't. Like, to give Rutgers credit, Marvin Harrison he finished with 2 touchdowns, but he was mostly invisible in this game. Emeka Egbuka came back, his first game back, 4 catches, 29 yards, mostly invisible. Trevion Henderson won this game for Ohio State. And it's a similar situation to what I talked about last week when they beat Wisconsin. The difference between Henderson and everybody else that they have at that position is that he has the ability to turn a 1-yard gain into the 60-yard touchdown run. And he did that a couple times. And he did that in the passing game. He ran for 128 and had a touchdown. He caught 5 passes for 80 yards and should have scored on the one, but he got tackled from behind. But that was another perfect example where he was just the check down. McCord dumps it down to him 5 yards right in front of, the middle of the field. Henderson turns. There are 3 Rutgers defenders in front of him. So he says, okay, I'm just going to race him to the sideline. And he beats all of them there, turns upfield and runs and picks up 65 yards. His ability to do that is the game changer and kind of the key that unlocks this offense for them. And it worked for them today. The other problem is it only worked because Rutgers has no offense to speak of. Like Gavin Wimsatt was 10 of 25 for 129 yards. He did have a touchdown. He also had an interception that wasn't entirely his fault, but was mostly his fault. But he also missed a wide open touchdown in the first half that would have given them a 16-7 lead at halftime. They did lead the game 9-7 at halftime, and they had a chance to go up 2 scores in the third before that interception. That's the kind of game it was. But yeah, this is just a dirty, nasty Ohio State that has to grind things out, and they keep grinding it out. It's just I fear for what's going to happen to them when they face Michigan because they're not going to be able to do this against that team.
I'm seeing some signals of what might happen to Ohio State when they face Michigan, and Michigan will defend them just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, Buzz went to that goal and nobody laughed.
Is Ohio State?
He said, "I'm seeing some signals." Come on, man. He needed to put a hat and sunglasses on. Man. Come on. He put it out there. Ain't nobody chuckling at that. Come on, that's good stuff.
Is Ohio State the team that everybody else on this show thinks Florida State is? Like that Notre Dame win, a little bit less impressive now, right? Struggling with the Wisconsin team that ain't any good. Struggling with Rutgers. Rutgers is not any good. Like Ohio State's resume took a nice little hit this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be number 1 this week.
It's yet another week where Ohio State doesn't look very good. Ohio State has a damn good defense, and they've got a really good receiver. 2 if Egbuka's right. And they still have a quarterback problem.
Mm-hmm.
He's too tentative.
And again, like this is not me saying like Florida State should be above them. Actually, I'm not sure that they should. But I think we should be able to nitpick Ohio State like we're doing now. They haven't looked right on offense one time this year.
No, the Western Kentucky game. They look great.
No, but all right.
A lot of people look right on offense. Western Kentucky.
Dude.
But against Power 5 teams, they have looked wholly ordinary most of the time. Like that Penn State game was a game between 2 really, really good defenses.
Yeah.
But it didn't look that much different from what you've seen from Ohio State in a lot of other games. And I do think, like I said, I think McCord is too tentative at times where, like, Stroud and Fields were more talented, but they also had the realization that, you know what? I've got a bunch of NFL receivers. I can take chances, and these guys will probably bail me out more often than not. McCord seems a little scared to do that sometimes, although he did try at one point today because he tried to force a ball to Marvin Harrison between 3 defenders and got picked off doing it. And it was just like, no, that's not the kind of risk you should be taking. But it's, yeah, they don't have that difference maker at the spot to really kind of separate them from anybody.
Devin Brown is still hurt, correct?
Yeah, but he's not the difference maker either.
Tristan Gebbia. I'm just trying to figure out what the rest of the room looks like. Is Gebbia hurt?
I don't know.
I think if you had to play Gebbia, it would hurt you. So
yeah, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
Okay, yeah. And so where? All right, who's our fourth quarterback?
I don't know.
It's just, there's a segment of the Ohio State fan base that will always be defensive, that will always say, why are you attacking us, this, that, or the other. There's a segment of the Ohio State fan base during this game that was like, all right, his name, I don't have the depth chart pulled up. His name's Lucas. I'm really just pulling this off the top of my head. I mean, they're calling for anything, right?
Lincoln Kleinholz.
Lincoln, that's it. He's a true freshman, right?
Think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's got some talent, but he's from the Dakotas, right? Like, that's some of the worst.
Qualifier.
It's not exactly it's not a crucible of talent for high school football.
Right. Like, in terms of like I'm gonna feel a little bit better if you're a guy that played like elite private school ball in Cali, or like really good, really good ball in Texas or Georgia or Florida. Like, you've faced high level athletes multiple years in a row. Like, look, Lincoln Kleinholz has freaking talent. Like, there's no doubt he's got a lot of talent. Ohio State would not have chased him, but
the chat's popping off with West Dakota Heisman. I'll have to look it up later, but I'm in.
You're West Dakota now? I thought it was just North and South. I don't know. I'm confused.
I'm in. Let's go. Great nickname. Phenomenal. I hope he wins multiple Big Ten titles, just so I can say that over and over again.
By the way, the chat's also mentioning how Ohio State was without a couple with like Denzel Burke didn't play, and I think what's his name was out too. No. The other safety. But anyways, that has nothing to do with your offense being
no,
bad, guys. I don't. Your defense was fine today. That was not the problem.
And look, honestly, Ohio State has played a couple tough games in a row. I know Wisconsin's not good, but I do still consider playing at Wisconsin to be a difficult game, right? And you had to play that right after you had to play Penn State. And Rutgers is just sort of, it's going to be kind of cold weather. They're going to play hard on defense. It's going to be
Wisconsin poured it out. We saw that because they lost to Indiana. Wisconsin poured everything it had.
Was Rutgers even really trying to win with those short field goals, or were they just trying to keep it close?
God.
Like, I'm not saying that Greg Schiano threw the game, because I'm not going to make that kind of accusations. I don't think he did. But, like, I think he was just trying to
Schiano makes accusations. Why should you withhold from him?
Here you go. Because just for context for what Bud is saying, these are the lengths of the 3 field goals that Rutgers kicked today. 22 yards, 21 yards, 20 yards. You've had the ball inside the 3-yard line or the 4-yard line or the 5-yard line 3 times against Ohio State, and you kicked the field goal each time. Like, that is not good. I mean, you know what? Honestly, maybe it does beat this Ohio State team this year if you have an offense. Rutgers doesn't. Like, you're in that position, you got to go for it. You need a touchdown.